Hi everybody. So I'm back tonight I guess, to do the shower steamers. I'm gonna get the salt cakes with the moon press there done probably next week. I just don't have enough Epsom salt to really, show you guys how to do it. So I'll just do the shower steamers because I need them for the weekend anyways. So yeah, so I wasn't going to. I didn't really feel all that great today. Even yesterday in the afternoon, I was feeling like really dizzy and lightheaded, and like if I stood up too long or did something standing for too long, I felt like I was gonna like pass out and stuff. Hot flashes and getting really, really cold and all that. But then at night I'm good. So I don't know what's going on. No, I'm not pregnant, like my husband just asked me. So I don't know, but I got that little second win there, so I am in my PJs because I stayed in my PJs all day. So we're doing shower steamers. So in the pot I have, it's just a basic 2-to-1 ratio recipe, so 2 cups of this baking soda and 1 cup of the citric acid. I add two big spoonfuls of cornstarch and 1 spoonful of cream of tartar. You don't have to use the cream of tartar. I just find the combination works really well for me. I've never really played around, using one and not the other or anything. I just always use the same. Like both of them. I even use them in my bath bombs, and it's working out really, really good for me. So I don't really mess around with it because it's working. So I do the same thing for the shower steamers. So I put a little bit of colorant because I have a couple different types of shower steamers. So I like to kind of have people visually be able to see like what kind is what. So obviously this is the menthol, like a cough and cold kind of shower steamer. So I'm making it kind of like that minty green color. You don't have to put a lot because again, it is just washing down the drain. It's not even touching the skin, right? So you don't want to put too much of anything that you're just wasting, right? But I still, like I said, I like to have the variation in color. So I've got like this one here. It's I just called it Relax the Mind Shower Steamer. So it's got like rose, geranium, stuff like that. Just like a very, very floral rose kind of scent, and it's in pink, so people can really tell. And then I have a citrus one. I call it Wake Me Up. Actually, I changed it, I called it Wake Me Up in the Morning. So this one too, it's a citrus blend, so there's lemon, there's orange, there's grapefruit, there's no menthol in these ones, so you don't always have to use menthol in every single one of them. They don't have to all be to clear the nose, right? It could just be to clear the mind, it could be to relax the mind. This one here is the lavender one. It's got lavender and lemongrass in it. So this one, I market it more for like before bed, like a sleepy time kind of one. And then this one's purple. So you can tell the difference between all of them, and that people don't think they're all the same. So that's kind of my reasoning for putting color into it. You don't have to do it, like I said, but that's the only reason why I do it. I put my menthol crystals in the container, and I have 91% rubbing alcohol in there. So the menthol crystals are actual crystals. For those who don't know and have never made them, they're actual crystals. They're super, super potent, but I really do recommend you get the crystals because it's just going to bump up that menthol kind of peppermint smell once it evaporates into the air, like in the steam and all that. So it's really, really something that's going to just boost that smell kind of thing. And then I use peppermint and eucalyptus essential oil. I'll give you the amounts of these when I actually put it in there because I do it a little bit differently. And then, like I said, the 91% rubbing alcohol, I just get it at Walmart in these big containers, and that's what I have in here. I have about half an ounce, a little bit more than half an ounce in there. And then I have 1.5 tablespoons of the menthol crystals. I put it in there. I put it the night before, so it just does its thing and slowly, disintegrates into the alcohol. So I'm going to be using that. And another thing that people don't really like to do, some do and some don't, and again, The reasoning is that, you know, it's all going down the drain, so why waste product that doesn't need to be in there? But I do a little bit of the olive oil. The reason being for that is because I find, because I'm using alcohol, when you're spritzing, you have to spritz a lot because that's the only thing that's wetting your dry ingredients is. So it really knocks you on your butt. Like, there's a few times where I've had to like back away and say like, okay, like I need a glass of water and like a second to breathe, because it just goes into your system and literally can make you feel high. So to kind of alleviate a little bit of that, I use a little bit of the olive oil. I know you can use witch hazel. I just kind of stopped using witch hazel altogether, and so I don't have it on hand ever. I always have the rubbing alcohol, so that's what I use. So that's the only reason why that I use a little bit of olive oil. It's probably maybe a tablespoon-ish, just to kind of help get it wet and going, you know, to get it gathered together. Now for texture wise, and you will see that once I kind of start mixing everything together, I do like them to be a little bit more wet than, let's say, the bath bombs, because I'm just shoving them in here anyways, and I want them to be rock hard. I don't want them to get powdery. I don't want them to break. They need to be rock hard. And I find if you put a little bit more of the rubbing alcohol in there and get it a little bit more wet and really, really push it in there, they're going to turn rock hard. I also spritz the top with rubbing alcohol, and then when I take them out, I flip them back and forth a couple times and I give them light spritz. So I leave them sit overnight, but I'm spritzing them every couple of hours and then flipping them over and stuff. So I put them like on a drying baking rack kind of thing, and then I just spritz. So I leave them be for about an hour and a half, and by then they are pretty hard, so I can just pop them all out, put them on a little drying rack, and then that's when I spritz it throughout the night. So like I said, so I've got the 2-to-1 ratio of baking soda to citric acid, a couple tablespoons of the cornstarch, a tablespoon of cream of tartar. Again, you don't have to use cream of tartar if you don't want to. I know it's expensive, so that's one that you can just omit and use more of the cornstarch or not even bother. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just going to help harden the bath bombs or the steamers. So I got about a tablespoon of oil in there, like I said, just to help me out a bit. I feel like I have to repeat myself a little bit more because people do come in at different times to watch the video. So I don't want somebody to come in and be like, what the heck is she doing? So I'll open that up so that you guys can see. If only you guys knew how I set myself up to do these videos. You guys would be laughing at me. So I just kind of incorporate the olive oil as much as I can, and it kind of makes clumps because it's not enough to wet the, you know, the whole batch. So I kind of just run my hands through it and get rid of any clumps that it's made. And then I use you can like put that in a little squirt bottle and squirt it in. But I just kind of, for this, and it's because there are times where I need to add more of the rubbing alcohol. So I just kind of grab a little bit at a time and then mix it in until I get the right consistency. So like I said, you do need a lot of the rubbing alcohol to really get it sticky. And to be completely honest, I really just put it all in. If you guys are kind of new to it, do just a couple tablespoons at a time, or get them in the spritzer bottle. But I mean, I know how much it's going to take. I know that it's a lot. So I don't really take my time, I guess, is what I'm kind of getting at. So it's still not, like, it's very, very powdery, okay? So now I have my trusty squirt bottle. And I'm literally going to, and this is when it's going to get in your nose, in your eyes, you know. So I squirt a bunch. It's really not going to activate it. So I do generous squirts. Sorry if you guys, oh yeah, you guys can still see that. And the only reason why I'm tilting my container is because my bottle isn't quite full, and the little hose that's in there doesn't catch it all the time. So instead of fighting with it, I just tilt my bowl. That's the only reason why I'm doing that. a really good tool for the steamers is a KitchenAid. I would have done the KitchenAid, but I think you guys wouldn't have really been able to hear me. That's the easiest thing because it just stirs, and then I just kind of spritz, let it mix together, spritz, let it mix together. I scrape the sides, and then I keep doing that until I can grab it and it stays nice and hard instead of constantly, you know, mixing it with my hand. So the KitchenAid is like a dream when you're doing the shower steamers. So this batch here, the 2-to-1 ratio, is enough to fill one of these one of these Brown's little muffin tins, plus almost all of a little, I do like little flowers kind of thing in them. I don't know if you guys can see, there we go. So I like to mix them up. So in each of these, I don't know if you can kind of see it on the side, in the middle there, and I want to put the label up higher, but I had my mom and my husband helping me, and they put it in the middle because I always tell them, put it in the middle so that it looks nice, but you can't see the little flowers, so I'm actually going to put the label up higher so you can see the little flowers, or kind of move the little flowers. I might put one like on the top corner and then one on the bottom corner. But yeah, it just kind of switches things up a little bit. Makes it a little bit fancier, and because I have extra, right, and I don't have another mold like that. If I had another mold, I'd probably just do them all the same, but I don't, so you kind of have to improvise. You can make your batch smaller if you wanted to, and just do like 1 cup to half a cup if you wanted to too, but so it's starting to get there. I am going to spritz it a little bit more, but you really feel it, like it clumps up, it stays together, like. But like I said, you want it just, for me anyways, that's how I do it. I like that it's just a little bit more wet. Whew. If I don't feel good, I will feel good in other ways now. Here we go. So that's that. And then super easy, I just plop it in and push into it. Now, it is really like a wet sand consistency, so you want to make sure that it's completely pushed in really, really well and like tight in there. So I just move it around and I just fill up my little holes. So again, if you don't want to use any colorant, you don't have to. There was a time when I was only doing the morning ones, and like, so the citrus ones and these ones, and I would do 2 batches. One batch I would color and the other batch I wouldn't, so you had like that contrast of like the white and then the green or the orange, and those ones were really nice. And then when I first started making them, I would split the batch and in the bowl kind of do like what I was doing with the bubble scoops yesterday. I would mix the white and the green together in the bowl so that when I grabbed it, there was a little bit, it was kind of like a marbling effect type thing. So I was doing them like that too. Those are really nice. I just find it's easier now just to do 2 batches, 1 white, 1 green, or whatever color. So like I said, if you don't want to, if you're on a little bit more of a tight budget and you don't really want to waste you know, product on something like this, then don't worry about it. It's just for aesthetics reasons only, really. And like I said, because I'm doing more than one kind, it's just helping people recognize which one is which. So that's really all it is. And then same thing with the oil. If you don't want to use oil because you feel like it's just being wasted, then just use more of the rubbing alcohol. But you guys could see that like I used a lot. So, and again, like it'll knock you on your butt, I'm telling you. It's alcohol, so you're gonna feel high. So I just, like I said, I push it in really, really tight. Sorry, I'm not talking because there's not really much to say other than to push it in. And then I'm making a mess. So I posted the picture of my cut unicorn confetti soap. There was a lady, again, I should really start paying attention to the names of the people who are commenting, but anyways, there's a lady that commented, I don't know if it was in this group or the other group, but asking me if it was a cold process, hot process, if it was a whipped soap, or, you know, how I kind of got to my final product. And it's all cold process. What happened was I did a unicorn soap, and it was kind of like a layered zebra effect, but like in a like a rainbow kind of thing. And I did put you know, everything that I should be putting in to fight against browning and all that. And I think it did work, but for whatever reason, the yellow on the corners started to turn brown, and so I couldn't bring myself to sell those soaps. That's one thing, is I have a really hard time selling stuff that I physically don't like. But anyways, so I just shredded it with a cheese shredder, and I made just plain cold processed soap, and I tossed in some of the shreds in the base, and then I cut my batch of soap, not quite in half, but I kind of saved some, and I lightened it a little bit more, and then I just waited for it to get thick, and I piped it. I put it in a piping bag, and I piped on top, and that was how I achieved that. So if anybody's interested in me doing another batch, I do have some shreds left, and I wouldn't mind making another batch, so I could go live and do some soap. I haven't done that before, and I know soap making is kind of scary to a lot of people because of the lye and stuff like that. It really, really isn't. Yes, it can burn you, but honestly, if you're wearing gloves and, you know, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're not going to get burned. And if you do, you know what, it's not, like, people, I don't know if people just think that it, you know, it burns a hole right into your skin. It can, if it's, you know, if you're pouring the whole thing on yourself, but if you're just splashing yourself, it literally, it's like, it gets really, really itchy, and it kind of burns a little bit, but half of the time you don't even realize, because it's really not a big, big, big deal. So I really want to hopefully be able to help people understand that yes, it is something that you have to be careful, you have to be cautious, but you don't have to be scared of it, because you know what, once you make your first batch and you see that's really not a big deal, you're gonna feel, you know, horrible for keeping yourself away from making cold process or hot process soap. I mean, melt and pour is awesome. I do a lot of melt and pour. I love it. But cold process or hot process is just something completely different. It's amazing the things that you can do and achieve. So, alright, so that's basically all there is to it. Like I said, you'll just wait for those to harden for about an hour and a half. Pop them out. I'm going to spritz the top, so this is all you're doing. Quickly, you don't want to saturate them too much, or they're going to sometimes activate a little bit. Which I know I just said that they don't activate with the rubbing alcohol, but it's if it's completely drenched in it, then obviously it will. But anyways, that's all I do. I let them sit, pop them out in about an hour and a half, and flip them over, spray them a couple times, and then you can package them whichever way you want. I do them like this. I like them like this. I find that people can see exactly what they're buying. It's a cute little bag that, you know, they can keep organized and stuff. And yeah, so I just put my nice label on the top. I have my directions and all that on the back. Make sure that in bold somewhere, I put it in the front because that's the main place that people are going to look at, that you cannot take baths with these. They're not meant for baths, especially the menthol ones. They are going to burn their privates. I'm telling you, I've never done it obviously, but it's going to burn. Like, I've even made them where I'm not wearing gloves when I put my crystals in there and stuff. And I've touched just the edge where there was crystal on my hands and stuff. And I just rub my lip or whatever for any reason, and it burns. It's peppermint, it burns. So always make sure that you have a label saying, you know, don't use this while taking a bath. It's for showers only. We have to do it in French and English. And then on the back, I put clear directions to use it in the shower, where to put it, all that kind of stuff, and your ingredients and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully this helps anybody who, you know, is wondering how to make shower steamers. If you guys have any questions, you can comment below. I didn't really get to read any of the comments. I will afterwards. But yeah, let me know what else you guys want me to make. I will make the salt cakes, okay guys? It'll probably be next week. I'll talk to you guys later.